Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Math Club. In this video, we're going to talk about question 5. Work out the angles and sides marked with letters. Now, we're going to find the angles and the sides marked with letters in these three shapes. First, we're going to talk about the square here. Now, in the square, we have angle F and angle E. Now, the square here has these diagonal lines. Let me make this, change the color. These are the two diagonal lines inside the square. Now, these diagonal lines cut the square into 4 triangles. These triangles have the same, have 2 sides which are the same, in which we call these isosceles triangles. It means what? It means that they have the same base angles. So these are the same base angles. Now, how can we find them? Let me zoom in the shape and I will explain more. This is a square here. Yes. So this one is 90 degree, as you can see. And the diagonal line cuts the 90 degree into 2 identical parts. So it cuts the 90 degree into 2 angles, which have the same values. So it means 90 divided 2 equals what? Very good. Equals 45. 45. This means what? It means this one is 45 and this one is 45. And it goes on all of the angles. So F here is what? Very good, 45. Because it was cut by the diagonal line. Very good. So we found F, which is 45. Now we need to find E. Now each angle here is 45. So all of them here are 45. 45, 45. Here. 45 in all the base angles of the isosceles triangles. Now, this is 45 and this is 45. And we know that the sum of angles in a triangle are 180. So how can we find E? Very good. We're going to add the two 45s together, this and this, and then subtract them from 180. Because we know that the sum of angles inside a triangle is 180. So we say 180. Let's make it bigger. Now, when you add these together, you will get 90. So 180 minus 90 equals 90. So E here is what? Very good. It's 90. And this is how you answer a question like this. So first, we found the 45 by saying this is a 90 degree. And the diagonal line cuts it into 2 identical parts, which gives me 45 and 45 for each base angle of these triangles. And then when we add them together, we get 90. When we subtract them from 180, we get 90 in the middle. And this is for question A. Now let's move on to question B. Let's move on to B. Let's look at this. In shape B here, we can see this shape here. Let's zoom out because we need more information. Yes. This shape here is called parallelogram. In a parallelogram, you can see that 2 pair of lines are parallel to each other. That's why it's called a parallelogram. Now, both pairs are what? Are equal. So this 8 equals this Q. So Q here equals what? Very good. 8 centimeters. Same idea for this line, 5. So this is 5. Now, let's talk about the P here. We can notice that this line here makes the whole diagonal line, which is 12. And this one is half of this line. So half of 12 is what? Very good. It's 6. So this one is 6 centimeters. We can say that P is half of the 12. So P is 6 centimeters. And this is the idea of question B. Now let's move on to question C. Now for the shape C, we have a rhombus. Now in this rhombus, this one is 80 degrees. When we focus on the shape, we will notice that a rhombus has 2 angles, or each 2 opposite angles are what? Are the same. It means what? It means if this is 80, this one is 80. Now this angle here is 80. And the diagonal line cuts it into two identical parts. So x is 40. So when we divide 80 by 2, this one will be 40. Very good. Now let me make it smaller. Yes, yes. So x is 40, and this part is 40. Good. Now, in the rhombus, we have a rule that we have to follow in a rhombus. The two diagonals are always perpendicular to each other. The two diagonals are always perpendicular to each other. This means what? It means the angle formed by the perpendicular lines is 90 degrees. So y here is 90. This is a very important rule to follow. So this y here is 90 degrees. So we write 90 here. Because this one happens in rhombus, all of the diagonal lines of rhombus are what? Are perpendicular to each other. So this one is 90. Let's make it smaller. And if this one is 90, it means what? It means this one, the small one, is 50. Because what? Because if this is 80, it means the angle next to it completes it to 180. This means when you divide it by 2, it's going to be 50. So x equals 40, y equals 90, and this is how you answer a question like this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.